When I was a kid, we saw physical money all the time. And I would see, my mom or my uncles, go to a store and, give a $10 bill and then get a $5 and then a little bit of change. And actually, my family, my uncles ran a convenience store, and then my mom kind of worked as a manager at a convenience store. So I actually saw a lot of, I was very familiar with the notion of a cash register and how to make change. And actually, I thought that was an incredible experience for me, even when I was very, very, very young. And what I see in my own children is now if we go to a store or we go to a restaurant, I just hand them this piece of plastic. Then it kind of disappears for a few minutes. It shows up again, and I just sign it. And my kids just think that there's just this magic plastic thing that somehow allows us to eat places or whatever. Or they probably don't even appreciate that not everyone might be able to go to a restaurant or be able to buy a certain type of thing. So I find it especially important, because it's not as obvious for this generation, to talk to my children about, well, what's happening when I give a credit card, when I use a debit card. Some parents, I think, take a lot of satisfaction in being able, in fact, all parents take a lot of satisfaction in being able to provide for their children. And they want to protect their children from thinking, oh, well, maybe there's some scarcity, maybe we can't have everything. But one of my proudest moments was a few weeks ago when my son said, "Hey Dad, can we afford this?" And it was something very simple. It was like a pencil sharpener, and we could afford it. But I just love the fact that there was this like $2 thing, and my 6-year-old son was asking that question: can we afford this? And so I would encourage all parents, even if you're doing okay, even if you don't have any financial stress, try to make your kids feel like you have a little bit.